So as I have mentioned, the first book that I read of 2015 was The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. And upon reading this book, I was rather disturbed by the content that I discovered resided within it. So I therefore decided to do some research and came across something that didn't quite match up to my experience with the book. Upon my research, I discovered that L. Frank Baum stated that he had created The Wizard of Oz in contrast to what he seen as historical fairy tales, typical blood-curdling incidents that had some deeper moral meaning, and instead had created a fairy tale that left out the nightmares and heartache. Similarly, the New York Times of 1900 stated that the book was a bright and joyous atmosphere that did not dwell upon killing or violence. Did they read this actual book, or was the proof copies changed to what was distributed to the masses later on? I'm very confused about this. Whilst I accept it is not as violent as what L. Frank Baum stated as historical fairy tales, I mean, come on, the absolute horror that is Sleeping Beauty in every single rendition of Sleeping Beauty. That's just a horror story. However, this is not a non-violent book. It's not. So let's take a little look into the depths of this book. Now, I'm not sure if this video will be a spoiler because I'm pretty sure most people are pretty familiar with the general story of The Wizard of Oz. So this may be an interesting film to watch anyway, but be warned, information will be getting revealed, so it might be kind of spoilerish. So let's jump in with the most obvious fact first. Within the first couple of minutes of entering into Oz, Dorothy has literally entered with an impact. She's killed somebody. That person being the Wicked Witch of the East. Granted, she's killed a witch, but she still killed somebody. And from that point onwards, so she ensues gathering not only her friends, but together they leave a huge amount of bloodshed on the yellow brick road. That, my friends, we cannot not deem not violent. Is this just me? So after making this rather bloody journey and reaching their destination to the Emerald City to make their request upon the Great Wizard Oz, here we also come into the next moral dilemma. They make the request upon Oz for what they desire, and he will only grant them their desire upon the agreement that they will commit an act of murder, that being the Wicked Witch of the West. Something is morally rather corrupt there, my friends. Just saying. Not only are we dealing with an issue of peer pressure, that should we really teach our children this? By making Dorothy go off to kill the Wicked Witch, we also have this moral dilemma of two wrongs don't necessarily make a right. Is this just me? I'm having difficulties here. One of the killings in particular for me was committed by the lion after he was no longer a cowardly lion. This is after he got given his bravery. To become the king of the forest, he commits an act of murder upon a sleeping spider beast. While the beast is sleeping, so he doesn't have to face it while it's awake. That's not an act of bravery or shown to be this chivalrous character. That's rather more in line to his cowardly lion character. Am I wrong or am I right? Is this just me? I'm having issues. I'm having issues here. The Tin Man himself, the story behind the Tin Man of how in the pursuit of love he gets chopped to pieces and put back together till literally he is no longer the same person that he started out as. That's chilling and disturbing. Like, really, really disturbing. Also, a particular chapter that got to me was of the Little Chinatown and how these people come into this land as foreigners and just completely wreak havoc upon their march to the other side. And in the one moment particularly where they break the dairy cow's legs and the dairy mate was going to have to pay money to get the dairy cow's leg fixed. To me, that's so metaphoric of literally breaking the back leg of a life source to this community, to this society, and that this worker was going to have to pay extortionate amount of money to put back into fixing the broken leg, and so that then the cycle can restart of providing back to the society. And then also on this little trampling escapade, they destroy a church before they leave. I mean, to me, does this not represent the fragility of society? And also kind of maybe like the impact of colonialism and stuff, of these people coming, marching into unknown territory and completely changing life and disturbing life. I mean, maybe I've just been studying for anthropology too much. Maybe. So is it just me? I don't know. I don't think this can be called a non-violent book, because it's kind of violent driven in my opinion. And it definitely has deeper moral meanings, and maybe I'm just trying to find deeper meaning in it, who knows, but it was an interesting read to say the least. Not that it's bad, it was just unexpected and kind of disturbing. I really hope that sounds of blizzards have not been playing the whole way through this, because it's snowstorming out there. Is it? You know you're getting old when you've reached an age of cynicalness that you just look at snow and you go, that's kind of sad. So let me know down below, have you read this? Do you agree with me? Is there deeper moral meanings? And please tell me I'm not wrong in thinking that this isn't a non-violent book, because I think I worry about society if that was the case.